I think founders should learn, and executives should learn a lot about how investing works, right? There
Sure.
is there is it's just but my story. So after I left Adobe, one of my investors, a fund called Storm Ventures, asked me to join. I went there. I worked there for 2 years, and it was a great opportunity to really learn to invest. And it went pretty well. So my first investment was Pipedrive, that ended up selling for 1.5
Nice.
billion. Yeah. My second
It was
one was
was that a Vista pickup?
yeah, they
Or
bought it for
okay.
cash. That was the first
Mhm.
one. So I learned a lot from that. The second one was Algolia, which is doing hundreds of millions and is worth 3 billion today, which will go IPO when we come out of this. Search as a service API. The third
Love
one
it.
was Talkdesk, which is worth 10 billion today. The fourth one is what became Greenhouse, which is worth about over $1 billion today. The fifth one was SalesLoft, which, as you know, sold for well over $2 billion last year, right? So I was kind of 5 for 5 in the beginning, and had a few other pretty good ones too. I actually you didn't know back then that they would be so good, but those ended up on the aggregate being fairly insane
Yeah.
outcomes. And then in 2016, I kind of struck out on my own for a variety of reasons. Got harder, but still done pretty darn well. And I try to do 3 or 4 investments a year of like 1 to 4 million.
Mhm.
The world's changed. It got harder during the boom, right? From late 2020
Mhm.
to early 2022 when everything got insane. So I kind of slowed down a bit. And now I'm behind. I actually have too much money, as do some. I actually have, it's interesting for founders to be, I actually probably have too much money to invest now. And would love to do, 4 great investments. And there was a lot of
Yeah.
talk about too much dry powder. Now people aren't talking about it anymore because
Mhm.
VCs that do later stage stuff are just terrified.
Mhm.
They're terrified. But there's a lot of, for folks that have been around for a while, like me, here's something for founders to know. For folks that do seed, up to late seed, up to early A, folks that have been doing this I started investing in 2013. So anyone that's been doing it since 2015 or so, they're excited to invest now. Folks that
Well,
started more
valuations
recently,
are declined and so
it's
on
not
and so
even
forth,
just
right?
that. It's just like, it's still pretty good. Like uh, good companies today are still worth $5 billion. Like if you invest at 10 million valuation and GitLab's worth 5 billion and HashiCorp's worth 6 and Mongo's worth 8, you could still make money. So maybe not as much as last year, but so folks that have been doing seed for a while that have some had some returns, some hits, right? Yeah, maybe
Mhm.
they're worth half of what they were last year, but we know how to do it. But folks that started investing more recently, actually, no matter what they claim to their LPs, their portfolios may have like nosedived, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, but yeah, even with market adjustments, my current batch of companies is at 4.4x. So like that's still good. Like you can still make money if you quintuple your investors' money, right? So that's why hunt out investors now that have been around for a while. Hunt out investors that aren't scared. If you're early stage, they'll invest, but late stage, oh my god, I've been stunned the last 30 days how much worse, and I just wrote about it on SaaStr today, how much worse late stage investing is.
Mhm.
And this is why there's so many layoffs in the industry. It's not, sometimes these companies are struggling, but for the most part, CEOs are waking up to the fact that there's just no more money coming. That's
Right.
the issue.
Like
That's what's
yeah,
fueling
that
layoffs. There's
yeah, that
no
was
more
like
money coming.
yeah, like what used to be like, okay, this is good for 24 months.
Yeah.
Now it's like, nah, that actually might be enough for 36 months. It might be enough
No,
for 48 months. Yeah, it
it.
might be it. Right. So so exactly. So like just, rejigger, tune your spreadsheet a little bit there and say like, oh, okay, gosh, like I guess we can't be that upside down right
We can't be
now.
that upside.
And
And then like
yeah.
and what if and then I can go back to the point. But basically, if you're wondering what happened in layoffs, like what Stripe said is like was transparent and true. Basically, everyone doubled their hiring last year. Everyone doubled their hiring. Um, and so, best case, they're freezing hiring now because they don't need twice as many people today. And capital was so cheap, and there was just so much capital that every VP was like, "Well, they hit this crazy plan. I need 100 more reps. I need $100 million marketing budget. I need 1,000 CSMs." And yeah, when capital seemed to be infinite, you just gave it to them, right? You just gave it to them. But the thing is, people hired 50% more people than they needed last year. When I go back at the headcounts of the later stage companies I've invested in, all of them doubled their headcount. Even some of the most conservative and lowest burn ones doubled their headcount last year, and no one needed to. Like, let's be honest, no one really needed to double. You do need to grow your sales team to meet your plan, but we didn't really need to double our headcount. It was too fast.